that church. That stained glass is so lovely. It's Trinity Church and Churchyard, 75 Broadway in New York. We're going to go and have a look around the graveyard. Rainy, chilly day in New York today. That's not going to stop me. Isn't that beautiful? This is so beautiful, so well kept. Surrounded by buildings, look at it. Absolutely amazing. Wow. So Trinity Churchyard was the tallest building in New York City when it was completed in around 1846. But the surrounding stones are even older than the church, many dating back to the 17th century. So I think this is about the third or fourth church we read on that plaque on this site. So this Trinity Churchyard is in Lower Manhattan and is part of the Episcopal parish of Trinity Church, which has 3 burial grounds in the city, including nearby St. Paul's and Trinity Cemetery in Washington Heights. Trinity Church is one of New York's oldest and most historical buildings. It's really nice, isn't it? So well kept. So Charlotte Temple. Oh, she's an author. Charlotte, A Town of Truth, written by Susanna Rowson. It's a popular 18th century novel. Legend has it that the name on this wrought stone was carved by a bored stonecutter while working on the church. It is unknown if anyone is interred in the vault beneath the stone. There you go. So you can't actually get too near the gravestones. I mean, near enough, don't get me wrong, because this perimeter fence goes around them all. I kind of like it, to be fair. Richard Church, 1676 to 1681, the oldest gravestone in the cemetery. And although difficult to read, this gravestone is dated 1681 and is for Richard Churcher, aged 5, son of William Churcher. So apparently Richard's gravestone is two-sided, which is unusual. Richard, 5 years old, sad. Sydney Breese, June 1767. like the colour of these gravestones. And I like the fact that we can read them. So this one is a Fireman's Memorial Monument, 1865. This monument was erected at the request of the volunteer firemen of the Empire Steam Engine Company, number 42, as a tribute to 6 firemen who were killed as firefighters or in battle as soldiers in the Civil War. It's quite lovely, isn't it? And that's the Soldiers' Monument. This next one is the Soldiers' Monument, one of the largest monuments in the churchyard. You can read, I don't need to read it to you, do I? Look at that. It's lovely. And there's a bird up above, see that? Hear the sounds of New York City in the background. Field, started 1802. $17.97 at the bottom there. That one, let's go closer. Really quite beautiful, some of these. That church though, wow. I think wow is my word of the day. Sometimes it's awesome, but today it appears to be wow. Can't help it how many times I say it. Lovely as well. Bradford, printer and publisher. In 1693, Bradford was appointed the royal printer for the New York colony. He printed the first American Book of Common Prayer in 1710 and founded and printed New York's first newspaper, the New York Gazette, in 1725. I don't know where he is, but he's in here. Look at those beautiful trees, cherry blossom. That would look absolutely awesome if it was a nice sunny bright day. It is a bit dreary today, but it's okay. We can still do what we want to do, can't we? Let the weather stop us. Just across. Really lovely. There you go, that cross was designed by Thomas Nash. Albert Gallatin, 1761 to 1849, served in Congress as the 4th Secretary of the Treasury under both Jefferson and Madison, also a diplomat and founder of New York University. You can read the rest. There he is. Yeah, so he became the first president of the New York branch of the National Branch from 1831 to 1839. His most famous contribution to the city was the founding of New York University. And that was a university designed to admit students based on merit rather than their birthright or social class. He was 88 years old when he passed away. He was actually the longest serving Secretary of Treasury. Rest in peace, Albert. Some of them I can't read too well. It's just the style of it, I think, and because they're wet as well. Being held together by bindings. Sorry if my hands are shaking, but it is quite chilly today. I should be used to it coming from England, but I appear to be shivering a little bit. It's lovely. Time capsule. It's already been opened. Unless they've forgotten about it, but I doubt it. Angelica Schuyler Church, 1756 to 1814. She's the sister-in-law to Alexander Hamilton, who we'll visit in a sec. Wife of British Member of Parliament and businessman John Barker Church. Intelligent and socially active, Angelica Church befriended and corresponded regularly with many of the prominent figures of her day, including Thomas Jefferson. She was a well-known socialite in her day. She even had a town named after her in upstate New York. A town? Yeah, upstate New York. I mean, this is one part of the graveyard, and then we're going to walk through, and it sort of continues around the other side. Memorial Garden. Along this walkway, the ashes of the faithfully departed of Trinity Wall Street are interred. Their names are inscribed in the memorial book in All Saints Chapel in Trinity Church. That's nice. Who's in there? Mulligan, Taylor and Spy. Taylor and British occupied New York during the American Revolution and used his position to discreetly extract intelligence from his clients, many of whom were British soldiers. So this is the grave of Robert Fulton. He's a famous inventor and engineer. He's widely credited with developing the first commercially successful steamboat in 1807. That invention drastically changed river traffic and trade routes, and because of him, neighbourhoods like Brooklyn, Queens and Staten Island became much more desirable a place to live. It's quite impressive, isn't it? He created the world's first practical submarine, and he's credited with inventing some of the world's earliest torpedoes for use by the Royal Navy. He actually became interested in steam engines at just 12 years old. He died in 1815 from tuberculosis, I can't even say the word, TB, which was known back then as consumption. He was walking home along the frozen Hudson River when one of his friends fell through the ice. He rescued his friend but was soaked through, and this caused him to contract pneumonia. His sickness worsened, causing a diagnosis of consumption. He was 49 years old when he died. But look what he left behind with his inventions. Rest in peace, Robert. So that grave over there, surrounded by people, there's a tour going on, is Alexander Hamilton. He was born January the 11th, 1755 in Charlestown, Nevis. He died July 12, 1804 in New York. He was an American military officer, statesman and founding father who served as the first Secretary of State from 1789 to 1795 during George Washington's presidency. I can't get my words out today, it's so cold. Hamilton was one of America's youngest and most influential founding fathers. He fought in the Revolutionary War and was an aide to George Washington. And he became one of 56 men to sign the US Constitution. He practiced law. He founded the Federalist Party, the US Coast Guard, the New York Post, created America's first bank, and as already served as the first US Secretary of Treasury. And after resigning as Secretary of the Treasury, he returned to his legal and business activities, and he was a leader in the abolition of the international slave trade. So Aaron Burr ran for governor of New York in 1804. Hamilton campaigned against him. Burr took massive offence to this and challenged Hamilton to a duel. The duel took place on July 11th, 1804 in New Jersey, where Burr shot Hamilton in the stomach, and Hamilton succumbed to those injuries received on July 12th. Let's go and have a look at his grave. Socialite. She was the daughter of American Revolutionary and United States Senator Philip Schuyler and the wife of founding father Alexander Hamilton. There's Eliza. There's Alexander. She was born August 9th, 1757 and passed away November 9th, 1854. Kind of an interesting little graveyard. So much history here. So much interesting history here. About John Watts, shall we? The Honourable John Watts, politician and jurist. He was a member of the Third United States Congress and later served as judge in Westchester County. Beautiful. This is so beautiful. So ornate. Look at this flooring. Outstanding beauty. I mean, whatever you feel about religion and churches, I've said this before on my videos, you have to admire the architecture and the detail. Doesn't matter if you believe in God or gods or you don't. This is just outstanding beauty. Is it not? Spitfire Kev, what do you think of this church then? Oh, and I can't turn the lights off on the way out. Kinda don't need to. Wow. Piece of history. beautiful.